Here's your wrestling news for November 29th, 2025. Your headlines for today include fans furious after Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer get snubbed from WrestleMania 42 promo. AEW makes risky move against WWE just before WarGames. WWE may have accidentally spoiled 13-time champion surprise return. WWE star accidentally takes out security, unseen SmackDown footage leaks. Jey Uso beats Rusev to move forward in the Last Time Is Now tournament. Why Uncle Howdy attacked Solo Sikoa, real reason revealed. Charlotte Flair in tears on SmackDown, what happened? WWE drops Tease for big mixed tag match, and more. WWE has officially unveiled the full Women's WrestleMania 42 promotional video, and it's packed with star power, Las Vegas atmosphere, and a cinematic tone that instantly grabbed fan attention. The promo opens with Jade Cargill stepping inside what appears to be a high-end Vegas hotel venue. The camera then cuts to Becky Lynch seated across the room before transitioning to Charlotte Flair and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Tiffany Stratton is shown next, fixing her hair inside a glamorous hotel bathroom. From there, the video cycles back to Cargill, followed by more shots of Becky and Charlotte walking through the lobby. As the pace builds, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky appear again, leading into the final visual, every featured star seated together at a grand dining room table. Triple H narrates the entire piece, giving the promo a dramatic big fight feel that perfectly aligns with WrestleMania 42's Las Vegas setting. But as soon as the video hit social media, reactions shifted from praise to confusion. Fans immediately began calling out two major absences, Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer and former champion Liv Morgan. One viewer demanded answers, "Where is the Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer?" Another expressed disbelief over Morgan's omission, "Where's Goat Morgan?" A more frustrated fan added, "Where is Liv?" Some even floated the idea that the omissions were intentional, with one user criticizing the choice as disrespectful. "They cut Liv, how disrespectful." WWE rarely makes promotional decisions without purpose, which makes the exclusion of Vaquer and Morgan especially noticeable. Whether this was a strategic choice or an unexpected oversight, it's already sparked a wave of criticism online, and now fans are waiting to see if WWE will clarify the decision heading into WrestleMania season. With WWE Survivor Series set to take over Petco Park in San Diego, it looks like someone decided to send a message right across the street. A fan on Twitter posted a photo revealing a massive AEW Dynamite billboard positioned directly outside the stadium, and the timing couldn't have been more deliberate. The billboard showcases top AEW names including Darby Allin, Jon Moxley, Mercedes Moné, Adam Page, Chris Statlander, and Tony Storm. And it wasn't tucked away on some side street, it was towering over the same area where WWE is drawing more than 41,000 fans for Survivor Series on November 29th. This wasn't a coincidence. AEW clearly knew Survivor Series weekend would flood San Diego with wrestling fans, and placing the ad in that exact spot feels like a calculated move. Whether you see it as smart promotion or a bold shot across WWE's bow, the intention is impossible to miss. AEW wants to be seen. And because a fan snapped the photo and posted it online, the billboard went viral before AEW even had to acknowledge it. One picture was enough to ignite the conversation. Was this a savvy marketing move by AEW, or just an attempt to piggyback off WWE's biggest weekend of the fall? Share your thoughts in the comments below. With Survivor Series WarGames 2025 just hours away, excitement continues to build, and now, unexpected footage from inside Petco Park has taken that hype to a whole new level. Several behind-the-scenes videos began circulating online this week, revealing WWE's ongoing testing of the stage, lighting, and Titantron setup ahead of Saturday's show. One clip in particular sent social media into overdrive. Fans noticed that WWE was testing Stone Cold Steve Austin's Titantron and iconic entrance music, sparking immediate speculation that the Texas Rattlesnake could be making a surprise appearance at Survivor Series. The reaction was instant, with many assuming the company had accidentally spoiled a major return. However, according to a new report from Sportskeeda, the situation isn't quite as explosive as it looked. The footage was simply part of WWE's standard production checks, and the company was testing various entrances to ensure the screens, audio, and effects were functioning properly. At this point, Austin is not expected to appear at the premium live event. Even so, fan anticipation isn't going away. Whether it happens at Survivor Series or not, the idea of Austin showing up for a moment before WrestleMania 42 feels too big to ignore. If WWE intends to use him for anything major on the road to Las Vegas, the clock is ticking. And for those keeping track, Stone Cold wasn't the only name tested. Fans at the venue also captured WWE running Jinder Mahal's entrance during tech rehearsals, further confirming these trials were about production, not spoilers. Would you want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin return for a major spot? If not at Survivor Series, then at least during the build-up to WrestleMania 42? Sound off in the comments and let us know. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. SmackDown opened with a final WarGames preview before shifting backstage, where LA Knight was informed he'd be facing a mystery opponent in the Last Time Is Now tournament following Sheamus' injury. From there, the semifinals kicked off the show with Rusev versus Jey Uso. The Bulgarian Brute wasted no time asserting control, powering through the opening minutes and hitting a suplex for an early 2 count. The match itself was solid, but never quite pushed into a higher gear. Everything looked clean, but the pacing and structure felt very paint by numbers, lacking the extra urgency you'd expect from a semifinal match with the stakes this high. The standout moment arrived when Rusev kicked out of a spear at 1, a rare burst of intensity that shifted the momentum. But even that wasn't enough to change the outcome. Jey regrouped, climbed the ropes, and sealed the win with an Uso splash to advance in the tournament. Given Rusev's history with John Cena, many fans expected WWE to lean into that connection and book Rusev into the finals. A heel tactic or interference finish could have protected Jey while still positioning Rusev for a meaningful showdown. Instead, the former United States champion once again finds himself on the losing end without a clear direction. Rusev remains an entirely valuable performer, but WWE doesn't seem to have a long-term plan in place for him. A pivot toward the US title picture feels like the right move, especially with Ilya Dragunov currently holding the championship. A program between Rusev and Dragunov could easily inject new life into the division. What do you think? Should Rusev have advanced, and would you book him into a US title feud next? Sound off in the comments with your thoughts. This week's SmackDown main event featured a stacked 10-man Survivor Series elimination match pitting Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Tala Tonga, and JC Mateo against Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rey Fenix, Chris Sabin, and Alex Shelley. The match unfolded at a slower pace than expected, with eliminations taking longer to develop. When the first fall finally arrived, the surprise came in the form of the MFT's strongest powerhouse being the first man taken out, a decision that instantly shifted the tone of the contest. As bodies continued to fall on both sides, the match eventually narrowed down to a 3-on-1 situation, leaving Zayn alone against Tala, Tama, and Solo. From there, the momentum swung sharply. Zayn fought back with everything he had, showing the same resilience that's defined his underdog legacy. He managed to eliminate both Tama and Tala, but the numbers game finally caught up. Solo Sikoa cut him off and ended this match with a decisive Samoan spike. As Sikoa stood tall celebrating the win, the arena went dark. When the lights came back on, 4 of the 5 Wyatt Six members were positioned ominously on the ring apron. Standing directly behind Sikoa was the returning Uncle Howdy, who made an immediate statement by planting Solo with a sister Abigail. It was a shocking ending to SmackDown, though not entirely unexpected for fans who pay close attention to the finer details. Across multiple earlier SmackDown segments, Uncle Howdy had been spotted subtly lurking in the background, hinting that something sinister was coming. With this attack, WWE appears to be officially kicking off the long-teased feud between the Wyatt Six and the MFTs. In fact, the timing of the attack has sparked another theory. Uncle Howdy may strike again during the semifinal, opening the door for Gunther to capitalize and advance to the finals. With Howdy clearly targeting Sikoa, WWE Creative now has an easy and logical path to protect Solo while giving the Ring General the momentum needed to push forward. Whether that's the plan or not, one thing is certain: Solo Sikoa is walking into his biggest match of the tournament with a psychological disadvantage, and Uncle Howdy's shadow isn't leaving him anytime soon. If the closing moments of the show are any indication, this rivalry is being positioned as a major storyline on SmackDown as the year comes to a close. Backstage, Nick Aldis and R-Truth kept the locker room laughing with a string of ball jokes, but the tone shifted quickly once The Miz found a way to manipulate Aldis into naming him as LA Knight's mystery opponent for the last time his now tournament. That led straight into the next match, with Knight taking on The Miz. The setup was funny, but for many viewers, it also felt like the least exciting surprise WWE could have delivered. While some fans appreciated the nostalgia and chaos of bringing the A-lister back into the mix, others felt the reveal didn't match the hype. Once the bell rang, both men settled in quickly. Knight and Miz are two veterans who can work with almost anybody, so the chemistry wasn't the issue. The predictability was. From the moment the match began, it was clear where this was heading. The Miz's clever maneuvering to sneak into the tournament didn't help him in the long run, and Knight closed things out with the BFT to punch his ticket to the semifinals. If The Miz wasn't the mystery opponent, who do you think should have been in that spot instead? Sound off in the comments with your pick. Charlotte Flair walked into her match against Asuka on SmackDown with far more on the line than just securing the WarGames advantage. Both women needed the win for their respective teams heading into Survivor Series, and earning the numbers edge inside WarGames can often shape the entire match. But for Charlotte, the night carried an emotional weight of its own. The last time she faced Asuka in singles action, she suffered a torn MCL, ACL, and meniscus, an injury that kept her out for months. Stepping back into the ring with Asuka brought all of those memories rushing back. The two longtime rivals opened cautiously, feeling each other out before taking things to the mat. As the show cut to commercial, Asuka took control, grinding Flair down and dictating the pace. They've always worked well together, and while this wasn't one of their all-time classics, it was clearly a cut above the earlier matches on the card. Flair fired up in the second half, hitting Asuka with a string of big moves, including a massive powerbomb that had the crowd on its feet. But when Asuka kicked out, the moment visibly shook Charlotte. Overcome with emotion, she began to tear up, the weight of her last match with Asuka clearly on her mind. The closing moments came down to chaos. Charlotte tossed Asuka onto the announce desk and paused to recover. Asuka positioned herself to unleash her signature poison mist, but Flair ducked at the last second, and the spray hit a ringside security guard instead. This led to the Queen getting the pin to earn the advantage for her team on Saturday. While the spot was planned and the guard had been told to keep his eyes closed, sources near this taping confirmed that the mist still made contact with his eyes. In leaked footage, crew members could be seen rushing to assist him immediately. He was taken backstage where medical staff flushed out his eyes and cleared him as okay. Backstage on SmackDown, Damian Priest crossed paths with Zelina Vega before reuniting with Rhea Ripley, bringing the Terror Twins back on screen together for the first time in a while. Ripley made it clear she had more than just praise for Charlotte Flair on her mind. After hyping up the Queen, she told Priest she wanted to run an idea by him, a hint that WWE may be laying the groundwork for a mixed tag showdown. If the direction sticks, it looks like Priest and Ripley could be headed for a potential matchup against Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. On paper, it's a compelling pairing, two dark, intense personalities on one side and a real-life power couple with momentum on the other. If WWE does pull the trigger, it could be one of the standout storylines heading into 2026. Would you want to see Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Aleister Black and Zelina Vega? Share your thoughts below. Chelsea Green's long-awaited championship celebration finally took place on SmackDown tonight after being bumped from last week, but the moment unraveled almost instantly. What was advertised as a big, glamorous ceremony turned out to be surprisingly short, with Chelsea growing irritated as she waited for an expensive pyrotechnic display that simply never went off. Instead of fireworks, Jade Cargill made the impact. Jade marched out and took down both Chelsea Green and Elba Fire, turning the celebration into chaos before it even properly began. Ironically, Chelsea did get her pyro, but only after Jade had already flattened her. The pyro exploding late while she was already down left Chelsea completely irate backstage. Jade later doubled down in a backstage promo, calling the attack a warning shot to the entire women's roster. She made it clear that she isn't here to play games and that tonight was only the beginning. The camera then caught a humbled B-Fab and Michin watching the aftermath. Michin, reflecting on Jade's dominance, suggested it might be time for her to check her own attitude, hinting that she could be the next woman to step up against Jade Cargill. How was WWE SmackDown this week? Did the episode live up to your expectations? Which segment stood out as the best and why? The tournament matches or that wild ending with Uncle Howdy? And looking ahead to Survivor Series, who do you think walks out as the winners in both the men's and women's WarGames match? Drop your predictions in the comments. We want to hear who you're backing and why. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.